coverage foundation, you really need to make sure your skin is moisturized, because full coverage foundations will tend to stick to dry stuff and dry patches and things like that, more so than a light coverage foundation would. So I'm just going to put on a little bit of my moisturizer, which is the Estee Lauder Hydrationist. And I am using all Estee Lauder products. If you watch my last foundation video where I did long wearing foundation, you'll remember that I used a Estee Lauder foundation as well. I used the Double Wear Light. The reason I like to use Estee Lauder foundations are because I've used many foundations before. I kind of went on a kick for a while and just tried like every single foundation ever. And for me, I found that, in my opinion, Estee Lauder has the best foundations in terms of good coverage and really long wearing formulas, and they have a whole range of different formulas for every kind of skin type, and yeah, I just really like them, so that is why I prefer to use them. So I've put on my moisturizer, and the foundation I'm going to be using today is the Double Wear Maximum Cover, and this color I'm using is Creamy Ivory. They have, I think they have like 9 shades of this, or 7, something like that. They don't have a lot, and their darkest one is not very dark at all, unfortunately. So if you're really dark skin tone, they won't have a color for you. I'm gonna take some of this on my Graftobian palette, and that's kind of like a pea size, sort of, maybe a little smaller than a pea size, I'm not sure. And the brush I'm going to be using, there's many different brushes you could use. If you have dry skin, I would recommend using like a buffing brush like this. This is the Real Techniques stippling brush, or even something like the MAC 109 brush like this if you have an oily skin. But since I have dry skin, using a brush like that will exfoliate my skin too much, and it'll bring out the dry flakes. So I'm going to be using this flat foundation brush. It's a MAC 189. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first get a little bit of this on the brush. And I'm going to start here on the top of my cheek. Start where you need the most coverage, and then just kind of blend the rest into nothing. So I need the most coverage here because I have a lot of freckles, and I need it, you know, around my chin and area and that kind of thing. But I don't really need any around here. So I'm just going to start here in the middle and then just kind of pull it out. You really want to take your time, a little more time than usual when using a full coverage foundation, and just more time to blend and that kind of thing. Because if you try to just throw it on, it can look uneven because there's a lot of coverage, and you can end up looking a little cakey. So just make sure you take your time with this. And I like that this brush is kind of thick, because around the edges of my face, I can, you know, I can pat this on everywhere else, but then around the edges I can kind of use a little bit of a buffing motion just to kind of get it to blend into nothing. I wouldn't want to use that around the middle of my face because that's where it's dry, so that'll kind of dry my skin out. So just around the edges I can buff it and blend it in. Okay, now for concealing. With this foundation, you don't really need concealer anywhere. Unfortunately, I do have a couple stubborn spots that, since I did a thin layer of this, you know, it covers really well without being cakey, but there are going to be like maybe really, if you have any really big spots, they won't be covered up because you do want to put just a thin layer of this. So on any really stubborn spots and under my eyes, I'm going to be using the Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer, and this color is Warm Light. And I just want to take a little bit of this and dot it where I need it. So I need a little bit here, and just on these little stubborn spots I have. So I just dot that there, and then I'm tapping it in with this brush. It all kind of ends up blending together. And then I'm going to take this and put this under my eyes. And I've also tried many concealers, and I've found that this one is just the best for staying all day and just covering so much. So it's gonna cover really well, and it's not gonna come off or slide off throughout the day, which is great. So I'm just gonna pat that in. And I find this concealer works best with your fingers. And now I am pretty much done. The last thing I'm going to do is set everything. And to set, I'm going to be using the Double Wear powder. And this color is 1W1. I don't remember, I think it's Bone. And it's usually in a blue package, but I used to work at a cosmetic counter. And for incentives for selling, they give you testers and stuff. So this was just a tester that I got to have. So I'm going to use that on my Hakuhodo S102, and I'm taking a very small amount of this powder and just going over everything, focusing under my eyes to set the concealer, and then dabbing just a little bit around everywhere else. And these, all the products I used are part of the Double Wear line of products. So they will last all day long. The makeup, I'm trying to think if I can remember correctly, the foundation is supposed to last for about 10 hours, I believe. The concealer lasts for 15 hours, and the powder, if you used it by itself, would last for about I think 10 hours as well. So altogether everything will last you for a full day.